said to her loved ones and peers she was known as Cece. So Cece Hoffman thought that Denali Bremer was her best friend. The two teenagers had met while attending the same high school in Anchorage, Alaska. And on her Instagram account, Cece posted photos of the two of them, and they seemed to be really close. You know, they were striking poses for some school dance pictures, you know. She captioned it with "My BFF," according to the Anchorage Daily News. But, after Cynthia disappeared, it became clear that the 19-year-old had been tragically wrong. On June 4th, 2 days after her family had reported her missing, police found Cece's body in the bank of the Ecoletna River, I believe is how you pronounce it, Ecoletna River, near a hiking trail, and it was kind of near the outskirts of Anchorage, I think about 30 miles, and her feet were duct taped together. She had been brutally shot in the back of her head. Authorities said that Friday, Bremer, 18 years old, orchestrated this murder and recruited 4 of her friends, 4 people to help her, thinking that a man who she met on the internet would pay her $9 million. Now, she thought that she would get paid from this random person on the internet for some god-awful reason. I don't know why, but she really believed that she was going to get $9 million for this murder and capturing it on tape for the man to watch for his own sick reasons, I believe. Now, while officials haven't said why Cece was targeted, her family told the Daily News that she had a developmental disability that caused her to operate intellectually at a 7th grade level and likely made her more vulnerable. It was said that she had the capabilities of, you know, a 12-year-old, which is not anything crazy. I act like a 12-year-old sometimes, but you know what I mean. She could be easily manipulated. She could be easily swayed in one's own direction, you know. So this person, Denali, saw right through that, and she took that and took advantage. Now, her disability made her really want to have friends. She just wanted to be loved, you know. She just wanted to be someone's friend. She wanted someone to care for her, and when she got close with Denali, it was really fulfilling for her. Now, this is something that her father, Timothy Hoffman, said all she wanted was to be Denali's friend, and she just wanted people to be her friend in general. Hoffman, a handyman who had taught his daughter to be his right-hand man, knew something was wrong when his daughter did not show up on June 2nd to collect the money he owed her from a recent job. He told KTUU. Now, it was unlike her to not pick up the phone. He said that the kids knew if dad's calling, you answer. I don't care if you're in school. I don't care if you're not supposed to be answering your phone. You answer when I call, because if I'm calling, it's for a reason. It's an emergency. So the kids knew. And when she did not answer, this was very different from how she would normally act. She would instantly answer if her father would call. Now, he said, in this family, you all have phones. When dad calls, you answer. I don't care if you're at church and the holy pastor is preaching. I don't care if you're at school taking the high school diploma test. If dad calls, you answer. So those are his exact words. The next morning, when Cynthia still hadn't shown up, Hoffman notified the so he soon learned who she really was. And she knew a lot more than she was letting on, of course. According to court documents obtained by the Daily News, Bremer had formed an online relationship with a man who called himself Tyler from Kansas. And Tyler from Kansas was supposedly this billionaire. He had convinced her of this and offered to pay her this $9 million to rape and murder someone in Alaska, then sent him videos and photographs. Now, Bremer agreed to the arrangement. That's what the court documents say. And she allegedly recruited 4 of her friends to help her, offering them a cut of the money if they were to help her out and help, carry out the murder. On June 2nd, Bremer and his 16-year-old Caden McIntosh borrowed a friend's car to pick up Cynthia and drove her to northern outskirts of Anchorage, claiming that they were going to go hiking, authorities allege. They brought the 19-year-old to Thunderbird Falls Trail, a popular hiking path that cuts through a mile of birch forest before reaching a spectacular 200-foot waterfall. That sounds stunning, but instead of heading for the falls, they abandoned the trail and followed another path, and this kind of ran alongside that river that she ended up being found in. Now, they ended up walking at Gletna River until they found this isolated clearing, and the teenagers then bound up her hands, and they kind of acted like they were gonna just take pictures like it was a joke, but Cece started to realize, no, this is not a joke anymore. They had put it on her feet and her mouth, according to the prosecutors. Once she was restrained, McIntosh allegedly took Bremer's 9mm handgun and shot her in the back of the head, and they left her body in the river there. "I'm sorry, everybody, my family, my friends," Bremer reportedly said in a video that she posted on Snapchat. Now, this was afterwards, after the murder. She posted this on her story on Snapchat. "I guess you will hear from me when you hear from me, but I won't be back for a long time. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do it." It wasn't until later that Bremer learned that she had been catfished, prosecutors say. So, of course, Tyler of Kansas was not a real person. His real name was Darren Shellmiller, a 21-year-old who lived in Indiana, not Kansas, and he looked nothing like the photo that he had sent her online. He was not a billionaire, millionaire, whatever. When he was first questioned by the police on June 6th, 2 days after Cynthia's body was found, Bremer allegedly claimed that the 3 teenagers, Cynthia, McIntosh, and herself, had gone to Thunderbird Falls to take pictures of each other wrapped in this duct tape. She said that she had no idea that McIntosh planned to shoot the 19-year-old. Baloney. Yeah, so Cece had no idea that her friend and this other guy, that her friend actually was carrying this 9mm. She didn't know that her friend had a gun. So I'm kind of thinking that once they kind of tied her up for this joke, when she pulled the gun out, that's when Cece knew, oh shit, this is real. This is not even for fun or a joke. This is real, But further investigation yielded a stomach-churning discovery. Police got a search warrant for Bremer's iPhone and found child P.O. Or in plain view, so she doesn't fight me. Later in the conversation, Shell Miller allegedly told Bremer that he wished he had never made a deal with her in the first place. We can meet, but once I see a cop, I'm telling him or her that I made you rape people and killed Cece, he wrote, apparently referencing Cynthia's name, as I've been referencing her, because that's what she went by, that's what people knew her as, that's what her parents called her, you know. It just makes sense. I know a lot of people with, you know, their real name is David and they go by DJ, you know, and I don't know. I just like to call them as what they like to be called. It's just personal preference. But when she learned that she had been duped, Bremer admitted that Shell Miller had recruited her to commit a murder, prosecutors said. She also said that he had directed her to sexually assault these two other minors as well, who was 8 and 9 years old, and then this, or something like that, 8 or 9, and then the other one was 15 years old, so definitely minors. FBI agents were unable to find videos of the younger child, though they did find that she had sent Shell Miller child porn that featured the 15-year-old victim. According to the court documents, investigators have also not found evidence that Cece Hoffman was raped, as Shell Miller had allegedly requested. Shell Miller, Bremer, and McIntosh were indicted Friday on murder and conspiracy charges, according to the Alaska Department of Law. So were 19-year-old Caleb Leyland, who allegedly lent Bremer and McIntosh his car, and actually it was a truck. It was a truck. In exchange for a promised $500, you know, and this was going to come out of that $9 million from Tyler in Kansas. Now, these two juveniles' names have not been released at all. Authorities have shared few details about the involvement of these two juveniles because they are juveniles. They would be handled under family court, not criminal court, I believe, because of their ages. So they wouldn't be going to criminal court like Denali is in. According to the Daily News, Shell Miller also faces federal child porn charges and is awaiting extradition to Alaska. The investigation is still ongoing, and it's not yet clear yet if Bremer will face separate child porn charges and sexual assault charges for all these other things that happened, not even including Cece's death and murder. And it wasn't immediately clear whether any of these 6 defendants had an attorney either. Now, the father, Timothy Hoffman, said, "I have one thing on my mind, and that's to send all 6 of them to hell." And this was, you know, told to the news as hundreds gathered for this memorial service in Cynthia's honor. He was very, very moving when I saw any of his kind of interviews with different news sources. The way he spoke was very strong. He acted very tough, as if he was holding back his emotions very, 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 very heavily. And he just acted like I feel like my dad would probably act if something happened to me. He just said, I'm not gonna rest until they're in jail, in prison. I want them all to have 99 years, is what he said in another interview. He didn't say he wanted the death penalty for them. He just wants them to rot in jail and then rot in hell, is what he said. But I hope that you guys aren't getting sick of this. I just realized that the past like 3 true crime videos I think that I've posted, this one included, will be of like teenagers like going after their friends or people they knew in school, in high school. And I'm thinking about it now and I'm like, wow, this is actually an interesting thing for me. Not that those kids are interesting, but it's like, how does your brain work like that? How do you think it's okay to just murder someone? It has to do with the way that they were raised, right? It has to do with being brought up not knowing right from wrong. For example, it blows my mind. It baffles me like beyond words, and I can't even tell you how frustrating it is. But my next case, I'm gonna make sure I do it on something different, because this is probably getting old, or maybe not, or maybe not, or maybe not. But if you did like this video, like the whispers and such, let me know. Maybe I'll do gum chewing in the next one. I'm not sure yet. I still have that bubble gum. I chewed on some of it the other day when I was taking my son to the park. But if you did like the video, be sure to like it, subscribe, come hang out, all of those things. Join our little family that's growing. It's so fun. I love it here. And I will see you later. Love you guys so much.